Okay then, so a quick chat about gaseous exchange, diffusion and partial pressure. Now gaseous exchange you'll hopefully be familiar with from GCSE PE. That's simply oxygen being breathed in to the lungs, and then that oxygen enters the alveoli, the little air sacs in your lungs, and then from the alveoli it diffuses into the bloodstream, so the capillaries that surround the alveoli. That is your gaseous exchange. It's gas being exchanged from one part of the body into another. Now, if we look at the alveoli, there's sort of these cauliflower shaped sacs within the lungs, gives them a nice big surface area. When we breathe in, they've got what's called a high partial pressure of oxygen within them. So the atmospheric air, the air that's all around you that you breathe in, has got a very high pressure of oxygen within it. So if we just draw some little oxygen molecules in the alveoli, we can now see within there's a lot of oxygen. Now, the capillaries that are arriving at the alveoli, they contain deoxygenated blood. Deoxygenated blood obviously has got quite a low volume of oxygen within it, so we'd say that's got a low partial pressure of oxygen. So if I draw myself a capillary, I'm going to have that capillary going around the outside of the alveoli. Just to keep things simple, that's going to have a little bit of oxygen in it, but not particularly very much. So because we've got a high partial pressure of oxygen in the alveoli and a low partial pressure of oxygen in the capillary that's got the deoxygenated blood in it, the gas always wants to move from an area of high concentration or high pressure to an area of low concentration or low pressure. So the oxygen that's in the alveoli is going to want to rush into the capillaries, and it's going to want to oxygenate that blood, so it's going to move across in that direction. What then happens is obviously that blood gets pumped out into the body, and because we've now got oxygen that's moved from the alveoli into that capillary, that blood has now become oxygenated. Now this also works for carbon dioxide. So if I've got a sock today for a blood rubber, if instead we look at carbon dioxide and how that's going to be moving, bear with me, it's going to be the opposite. So your deoxygenated blood's going to have high volumes of carbon dioxide in it, so a high pressure of carbon dioxide, lots of CO2s in there, look. And that atmospheric air that you've breathed in that's in your alveoli is actually going to have fairly small volumes, low pressure of carbon dioxide within it. And again, what happens is the gas wants to move from an area of high pressure to an area of lower pressure, so that carbon dioxide is going to want to diffuse into the alveoli and out of your deoxygenated blood, and then obviously that carbon dioxide that's made its way into the alveoli, you can then breathe that out. So when you expire, that just goes out into the atmosphere. So that's a little bit in simple terms of the gaseous exchange, diffusion and partial pressure.